Hi, welcome back to the YouTube channel of Usbluewave. I am your host. I am John Doe, and welcome to the show. We're going to be talking about some food for dinner today on this exciting episode. We've got some rib meat that is similar to kalbi, but seasoned in my own special way with some decorative vegetables that added, some rice, and of course the veggies. I have a very nice potato recipe that I'd like to share with you using our 1700 watt Usbluewave air fryer. So thank you all for coming back. I appreciate you clicking the link at the bottom to subscribe, and also to order your own on Amazon.com, Usbluewave 1700 watt air fryer. So let's start with the potatoes. We have these very beautiful small potatoes that are very, very nice looking on a plate. And they're also pretty healthy, but maybe the way that I make them is not going to be as healthy, but that's the way that I like them. So let's go ahead and I have a 6-inch round baking dish, and I'm going to go ahead and use some onion, so just a little bit or to your flavor, whatever makes you happy. I like a lot of onion, and I use a half of an onion, maybe about 3 slices, and then I cut those in half, chop them up to little bite-sized pieces, but not too minced. And then just go ahead and throw those on top. Gives the potatoes a really cool, awesome flavor. And we've got our next thing. I like to use garlic. Garlic on potatoes is really, really good. So let's go ahead and be liberal with our garlic, because garlic is your friend. It is healthy and delicious, not to mention. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and put that there. All right. Now, what I'm going to do is, next, I'm going to take this butter that I made previously, and I'm going to drizzle some here on the potatoes, make them nice and buttery, and just dab some there. Make a nice little presentation, but it looks good so far. All right, so let's go ahead and put this away. All right, and so once you're done, you should have something similar to this, which is what you want to go ahead and put in our air fryer. And this is going to be the first dish of the day. So what I'm going to do is put it on the wire rack that comes with your purchase of the 1700 watt air fryer. And I'm going to go ahead and move it to the function of bake, like a baked potato. So it's set at 350 degrees, but with 35 seconds. I don't really want 35 seconds, so let's go ahead and press the function button to change that. One of the great functions, your nice huge analog dial to look at the different numbers here without having to strain your eyes. So I'm going to go ahead and move it to, let's say, about 20 minutes. And I'm going to go ahead and press the power button. And again, remember, when you do buy your Usbluewave 1700 watt air fryer, what a nice viewing window that you have here. And you also have this very functional light, so you can check up on your food as it's cooking. Very handy for all involved. So let's go ahead and clean a little bit of this away. And the next thing that we're going to work on is a lamb dish, which is similar to shish kebab, but we're just going to go ahead and call it not shish kebab, just a lamb dish. Not too fancy. Maybe John Doe lamb. Let's see. Now, what I'm using here is I'm using about 1 3/4 pound, almost 2 pounds of lamb. So the lamb is the star of this dish. We're going to go ahead and take that out. It's already ready for us to cut. We're going to be cutting it into cubes. And the cubes are going to be about maybe the size of a quarter. And we're going to try and keep it nice and trim. If there's any fat, we'll just go ahead and get rid of that. So let's go ahead and start here. We're going to cut this away. If you have any extra pieces of fat that you want to get rid of, now's the time. So I want to go ahead and get rid of that. Now what we're going to do is we're going to make cubes. So square shaped is always best for cooking this shish kebab-ish recipe that I've got here. And we're going to go ahead and trim as much of the fat as possible because we want this to be nice and meaty. Alright, so we've got our squares. So let's go ahead and cut them. They're going to look about like that. As you can see, the thickness maybe about a ½ inch to about a ½ inch. So, you know, it's hard to keep it the same way, cutting the same way all the time. So we're just going to go ahead and cut away. These pieces get a little big, so when you get to the middle, you can try and just cut it a little bit so that it's thinner, which is what is going to make them more uniform as we cook them in the air fryer. So it all looks pretty good right now. I'm looking at, like I said, about about 1 3/4 pounds of lamb. And it doesn't take too long to prep this, but you do want to make sure that the pieces are somewhat square because the shape is definitely helpful to what you're doing here. Alright. So we've got a bit more. And this is a recipe that has been handed down from generation to generation. And it's a great recipe that I can't wait for y'all to try. So we're going to go ahead and just make our cubes. Continue to cut and make these delicious squares of lamb chunk. Now if you cut them a little bit big, that's no problem. Some of them are going to come out a little bit bigger. Just cut them in half. You know, it's not a tragedy for you to have a little bit of a bigger slice, but I'm not sure how the lamb feels about that. But let's go ahead and finish doing our cutting. And as you can see, we're almost done with what we're doing. So we have the cutting part is the easy part, and it just goes to show you how you can cook such really delicious food using the air fryer, the US Airwave 1700 watt air fryer, and how much versatility there is in using air fryer technology. You can cook, you can bake, you can rotisserie. You got all sorts of options that are healthy, delicious, and way better than nuking your food. And there we go. Now we've got our nice pile of meat. We're going to go ahead and leave that there for a second while I wash. I want to thank you again and tell you that these air fryers are available on Amazon.com under Usbluewave 1700 watt air fryer. So, close drink here. To your health. Oh, thank you. Very, very, very good. Okay, so now we're going to need our mixing bowl. mixing bowl that we have here has a cover. So for the ease and convenience, the cover is necessary for having this because this should be marinating overnight. So you want to go ahead and put the marinade, which I'm going to show you how to make, inside the bowl with this, and then cover it so that it doesn't make your refrigerator smell like what you're cooking. So it's very important to get these sealable, choose your own manufacturer, but very important to have that mixing bowl for you to be able to do that. So I'm going to go ahead and put the chunks inside. So we're almost there. So we are going to use 3 tablespoons of olive oil. I like garlic olive oil. Okay, let's put that in there. And we have a lot of spices that we're going to be using for this to marinate in. We're going to use oregano. So some people can do it to taste. I just do it enough so that I know that I've used about enough. I do it by sight. But technically it's supposed to be a half teaspoon. Then I have the marjoram. The marjoram is another half teaspoon. All right. And then we have our lemon juice. So I have a lemon tree. Isn't that wonderful? Then I am going to go ahead and use my lemons from the lemon tree. And thank goodness I do have a lemon tree because it's been pretty hot over here. I think the lemons are dried out a little bit because they've been struggling for air, like most of us over here. All right, and put some more in there. Okay, I got one more. And all together, it's supposed to be approximately 3/4 of a teaspoon, or a quarter cup, my apologies. So in layman's parlance, you can use two lemons. That's about what I recommend. You can do it to your taste. That's my taste. Okay, now we're all set. Now, it appears that we are almost done with this part of our program, because we are going to just start kneading this together in the mixing bowl. So the lemon breaks down the fat a little bit, and the marjoram